Welcome back to another fun-filled show. I'm your host. He is Blanchard, aka Free Blanche, aka Blanchstradamus, aka Blanchy Kruger. Today's title is Black Misery Month, Fairy Tales, Diabetes, and Anti-Whiteism. Today's title is Black Misery Month, Fairy Tales, Diabetes, and Anti-Whiteism. Black history, for the most part, is simply anti-whiteism. That's all it is, just anti-white. If you think about it, every grievance that Black people have is against white people. And so if you think about it, the solution to Black people's problems is to, in a sense, dethrone white people, because every problem Black people have traces back to white people. Slavery, colonialism, capitalism, whatever ism, they're gonna say back to white people. So, but that's basically what Black history is. It serves as programming and propaganda, but also a way for Black people to further hate white people. So it's like a constant reminder of how bad white folks are, even though slavery's been abolished for almost 200 years. But anyway, it's just programming because your mind, believe it or not, your mind can't tell the difference. Your mind can't tell the difference from when you watch something on, like when you watch a slave movie and it's a white man beating someone Black in a slave movie, your mind doesn't know it's fake. Like what y'all don't realize that your mind cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's fake. It can't. It can't. This is why I tell you all to guard your eyes. Don't watch everything. Don't listen to everything. What's up, Brandon? But let's just jump right into it. I was sent this video. I want to say Janan sent me this video. Let me make sure. I want to give them credit, the person who sent it. Yes, Janan sent it. So let's just jump right into this and let's just see what this king has to say.
I guess we'll start simple. Is there any dollar value of reparations that, like, have you quantified it to a dollar value that you would want to be owed? And how would it be paid out? Would it just be the U.S. government would collect taxes from primarily white people and pay it out? How would it work? Or would it be like a private kind of system you want people to opt into?
A dollar amount?
Yeah. Do you think, like, the average Black person's owed, 10 grand, 20 grand each? Is there anything like that?
Well, studies show that it's for the labor itself. It's around $14 trillion.
Okay, yeah, I think I've seen this study here.
African people, stolen lives of African people have been given to build the United States government.
I have never in my life seen Black people work to the tune of $14 trillion. I've never seen that. I've never seen Black people work to the point where someone could tally up $14 trillion. I've never seen that in my life. I don't know who did this study, but it's obviously a lie. There's no way you can get a bunch of Black folks together and they work to the point where that much money is generated. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
And to build economy, the capitalist economy that you know of. But I, and as well as the party, understand that that amount is a drop in the puddle of what is owed to African people. That has given our everything. We've forcefully given our everything, not just labor. I mean, labor is one thing, but to give away our history, to give away our language, to give away our connection.
Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
And hello, I am Gavin McInnes.
Together, we're Compound Censored.
And we'd like you to subscribe to our network that has more fantastic content you could shake a stick at. Use this promo code for a one-time super offer.
Do it. It's uncensored and oh so entertaining.
Us to push us into privately owned prisons, to build a prison industrial complex, to destroy African children through the school to prison pipeline, to murder African children on the street, to make African women feel inferior, to starve African children because of parasitic capitalism. the amount is the liberation and determination of African people. And everything that you see anything you see of the white nation has been stolen from African and colonized people. I mean, from the people you call Aboriginals in Australia to the people of South America. These lands are poor because Europe is wealthy. So, yeah, that's
all right.
the close answer.
So, how about it mind if I jump in?
Yeah, we got to keep the answers a little shorter.
All right.
It went like I saw myself.
Yeah, we all see each other. But
So, and again, I don't think he has a low IQ. I think he's just programmed. And I don't think people understand what programming looks like. It's almost like autopilot. And so he said a bunch of nothing. So basically what he's saying is that white people, in essence, have ruined the world. And I'm going to talk about this probably next month, but how anti-whiteism, how it's designed to dehumanize white people, because what it does is it doesn't give white people any redeeming qualities. So for example, because there was slavery, because white people participated in slavery, even though everybody else did, because white people did, it's unforgivable. So what you're going to see is that when white people do something, it's unforgivable. When everybody else does it, it's because white people did it. So in other words, anti-whiteism is the dehumanizing of white people by making them almost godlike. I know it sounds crazy, but you put them on a pedestal that's so high to where they have to be perfect. And if they're not perfect, then it justifies everything that everybody else gets to do. So it's crazy. But yeah, what he said was a bunch of nonsense. But again, I don't think he's slow or dumb, even though he sounds like it. I think it's just programming. And when you make everything about race, you all but destroy critical thinking. And that's the problem. He's not a critical thinker anymore because everything is about race.
I mean, my argument was, I was going to start from talking about, I mean, usually people argue for reparations for slavery. I mean, obviously you and your movement take it to a different level with colonialism. But to talk about slavery, we have a control group in that the North didn't have slavery, the South did. So in response to the argument that slavery built America, and obviously it contributed a great amount, in the North.
Watch this. Wait for his answer.
Had something like 75% of all wealth prior to the Civil War. And obviously there was never a slave in the North. So only something like 5% of GDP was actually attributable to slavery.
There was no slaves in the North.
History?
He said 5% of GDP, gross domestic product, 5% of GDP was contributed to slavery. 5%. 5%. Anyway, let's continue. Wait for his answer.
New York City had slaves. Underneath what you call the stock market, there was slaves. There's bones of slaves that you can find. There's chains that you can find underneath that. You need to do real history and see that underneath Wall Street was African slaves, slavery. And no matter what part of white people or which white person didn't own a slave, they all benefited from slavery. Because I heard this one here.
Gavin.
Gavin.
Whatever. You were saying that only 1% of white people or something own slaves. And
about 1.5%.
Well, but how many white people contributed in stealing the slaves, chaining the slaves, beating the slaves, finding the slaves, making sure that the slaves wouldn't run away, and benefiting from slavery? So the ownership of the slave is not the only contradiction.
Wasn't that all Arabs and Jews and blacks? Weren't Arabs and Jews and blacks the ones selling the slaves? Didn't they create 10 million slaves out of nothing and sell them mostly to Brazil? We got like 388,000.
Brazil got about 20 million total.
Really?
It was something, it's
Okay.
either between 10 and 20. It was a very high number compared to what we got.
First, let's go to Black Africans selling other Africans as slaves. The definition of slavery that white people had of slavery did not exist on the face of Africa. beating, taking the names of, separating of families, lynching, branding, forcefully breeding did not happen in Africa.
Now, this is a very dumb argument. And I'll tell you this, why. I'll tell you why. The claim is that Africans had nice slavery. Africans have respectable slavery. So let me ask you all a question. If a slave said to an African, I don't know, African warlord or chief, I don't know, village master, if a slave said, listen, I don't want to be a slave, I'm going to leave, what would happen to that slave? Now we're in Africa where slavery is nice, and I say, I don't want to be a slave anymore, and I decide to walk away, what's going to happen to me? And they tell you that slavery wasn't brutal, but what happens to the slaves that run away in Africa? What happens to them? Let them go? How do you capture somebody that does not want to be captured? How do you enslave somebody that doesn't want to be enslaved? You see, the argument, even the point is just, it's stupid. If a person doesn't want to be a slave, that's when it gets very brutal. If a person does not want to be a slave, that's when it gets brutal. So in Africa, let's say it was nice. Let's say it was peaches and warthogs. Let's say it was. Once that slave says, I don't want to be a slave anymore, they decide to leave, they're going to get killed. It would be a blessing to get beat, but they probably get killed in the worst way. Anyway, let's continue.
They were cool with their slaves.
Only like 3,000.
Why did 2 million die just not even getting out of the continent then?
A totally different thing on the continent of Africa. What you are talking about is other nations of people coming and also partaking in the destruction and slavery of Africa. Mm-hmm. But it's what you owe. And as a child, some little child that says, oh yeah, I hit Timmy, but guess what? They hit Timmy too. Mm-hmm. But guess what? You are benefiting right now from what you did.
Yeah, I think it's the number of little boys that hit Timmy, though.
Well, the thing I wanted to bring up too,
focusing on one guy who hit Timmy once as opposed to the entire schoolyard.
I did not, exactly. The entire schoolyard you colonized. The entire schoolyard you colonized. The entire schoolyard you looted.
That example went right over his head. My goodness. This is what I mean. It's very difficult to have a discussion with Black people because they're so emotionally undisciplined. Black people are emotionally undisciplined. It is and they lie. It is very hard to have an honest conversation with Black people. Emotionally undisciplined, and they're going to lie. It's very difficult. This guy gave a great example. He said, you're only focusing on one person that hit Timmy when the entire school hit Timmy. This went right over his head.
From everything you have, every material you have is connected to a colonized and oppressed nation.
Are these countries better off when they get colonized? Wasn't colonization nothing but an improvement for the third world?
There are cases when it's obviously not, like the British in India.
Look at Haiti. They kick out all the whites. It becomes a hellhole.
Zimbabwe.
Look at Jamaica after 1969. Look at South Africa today. Yeah. The less white people, the more dangerous it seems to be.
Yeah.
It happened in
from the attacks of white people, from the attacks of imperialism. Do you know that they cut off Haiti from doing trade with anyone, and that
so you didn't get enough handouts?
You didn't get enough capitalism.
I didn't give you enough. You kicked me out.
They assassinated Haitian leaders. They assassinated Haitian leaders. They put Coachella virus in Haiti. They put HIV and AIDS in Haiti. They have attacked Haiti. When the Haitian earthquake happened, the Clintons stole billions of dollars from Haiti.
Well, that's correct.
That could have been given to the Haitian infrastructure.
How could you even tell after Haiti had an earthquake? Before and after pictures look the same.
Your argument is that a liberated African people will always fail because there's something innate in Black people that will make us fail. Because that's your argument, and it's not
no,
true.
Of course
not really. No,
Because
my
we
argument is that white people are not better than anyone. We're just very good at systems. I don't know why.
No,
Everyone
we're
has a
very good
talent.
at
Our
stealing.
talent is systems. We're good at.
And what he says is 1,000% correct. I always say this: Black people have the gift of influence. White people's gifts is system, structure, and order. Because white people have been able to duplicate the closest thing to heaven on earth. Because white people innately understand that things have to be in order to function. That is a God-given gift to white people. That gift was not given to Black people. It just wasn't. Black folks don't have that gift. But I agree with him 1,000%. Systems, yes, I agree. Well, he sounds like, and again, Black folks don't realize, but all of you all spokespersons are going to be LGBTQ. I told you all this before, a couple of years ago, that to be Black is going to be LGBTQ. You're not going to be able to represent Black people unless you're LGBTQ. I'm telling y'all that right now. So dear Black people, when you want to get on the podium, grab a mic, you're going to have to identify as one of the groups. You got to be trans, gay, bi, something. You have to identify with something to be able to speak for Black people. I'm just telling y'all. All this heterosexual representation is over with for Black people. It's all going to be all sodomites and troglodytes and heathens and Jezebels. Let's continue.
Roads and infrastructure, and you show your ticket here and you get your pie over there.
Roads. You didn't build those infrastructures, so you're not good at that. You're good at stealing and looting, and that's why you have a country that has only went 24 to 27 years without a war, because you're good at stealing, because each and every war is of you stealing resources. No, you are not good at systems, sweetheart. You are good at colonialism.
What resources? Gold and diamonds?
I don't understand the argument, though, that it was, let's say, slaves that built America. Like, we could just walk out on the street and look at any 10 buildings and none of them.
Well, the other problem with that whole argument, Ghazi, is after the Civil War, the balance sheet was zero. So you build up a restaurant and it burns to the ground, and then someone rebuilds a new restaurant and you go, that's my restaurant. I built it.
There is massive, there is actually massive inflation in the South during the Civil War.
Not a lot of cotton money going around these days.
No, but there is massive inflation in the South following the Civil War just to finance the war.
Have you ever heard of convict leasing? Have you ever heard of convict leasing?
Okay, that's a different argument. Now you're getting into the way they were treated after the war. Now it's racism reparations, not slavery reparations.
People and the continuation. The basis of capitalism and imperialism is built on the bodies of African people. So even if you say, fine, now you have these resources to.
For those of you on Instagram, this is not a woman, this is a man talking. For those of y'all on Instagram, this is a man talking. This is a flamethrower talking to these two white guys, I think Matt and Gavin, and he's trying to educate them on what white folks have done throughout history. But this is a man talking. And he's wearing a dashiki, but he's gay, so it's a gashiki. That's crazy. He got on the gashiki. Oh, let's continue.
Rebuild the resources that you have to rebuild is from the resources that you stole from Africa. None of you here can say where the resources came from, and it didn't come from your systems, and it didn't come from your brightness, and it didn't come from you being more intelligent than others. It came from stolen loot.
This is the world. Clarify.
Wait, nations are poor because white nations are rich. That is a fact. That is a fact. It is a fact that 14 countries in Africa have to give 65% of their budget to France, and then another 15% of that as extra charge. And that if any of those African countries ask France how much money is in that bank, that they are overthrown and they are killed and they are replaced with another puppet regime. If this wasn't true, you wouldn't have to have over 200 military bases around the world to solidify and sustain your stolen resources, if this was not true.
Now, see, and the problem with Black people and to the average person is that Black people are so convincing. And see, unless you're around Black people, you're not going to know they lie all the time. You're not going to know. Because Black folks are so passionate. They're so passionate, but those of you all that grew up in the urban environments, you all know that passion is a dead giveaway to some foolishness. Like those of you all that grew up around these, y'all already know that this kind of passion, they're going to ask for some money. Like as passionate as he is, at the end of all this, he'll ask for some money. So again, Black people lie. And it's easy to lie because Black folks take everything at face value, like children. They take everything at face value when someone Black tells it to them or a white liberal. They'll believe it. It's crazy. So Black people don't get their reference from books. They get it from word of mouth. Information in the Black community gets disseminated through word of mouth and like social media. Now it's social media and word of mouth. Nothing has actually been studied. And if it was studied, it wasn't studied accurately. No actual real information is flowing through the Black community. It's all fantasy and fairy tales and folklore. It's just a bunch of nonsense. It's just stories being retold and retold and repackaged and retold to where now Black folks say it with so much conviction like it's true, and it's really just false. Hence my hat. You know, I ain't Black, I'm free. But let's continue.
Everything that you are talking about is based off of bullshit. We live in a world that people are being bombed and murdered and assassinated every day so you can have resources. So yes, I'm talking about the past of what happened in Africa, but you have to understand the past is now. And stop saying African people sold African people as slaves. You put to the Africans that did not help the slave trade, they were murdered and beheaded and their heads were sent to the royals. Just now in Ghana, they got the heads of two of their kings back.
No, it was a big industry in Africa. It's a big industry today, my friend. There's more slaves ever.
They were murdered. How can you say that?
It's slaves in Africa. I want you to think about this for a second, y'all. It's slaves in Africa right now. There's more slaves in the world today than there ever was during the height of the transatlantic slave trade. There are slaves in Africa now. Think about that. Think about all of this arguing, all these debates, all this talking, and there's slaves in Africa now with no white people. Slaves in India, no white people. Slaves in China, no white people. Slaves in the Middle East, no white people. Isn't it ironic that in the modern era, there are slaves where there ain't no white people? Make sure my mic is okay. It's crazy. But anyway, let's continue.
How can you say that they were not murdered for not helping because
slavery existed way before we were buying the slaves, and it still exists today.
Slavery is as old as human civilization. There's slavery in the Bible before there was any sort of...
The origin of the word's a white slave, a Slav. But
yeah, that's where
they had slavery in Africa before we decided to buy some, and they still have them right now. Is it my fault they have them right now?
That you invented.
No, we did not.
Never been on this face of the planet until you came.
No, it's
and
not
guess what?
True.
Your slavery, the slavery that you had, was so.
So notice. Think about this. He skipped over the fact that there are slaves in Africa now. He skipped over that. Now he's going back in time hundreds of years ago to say, but your slavery, keep in mind, he skipped over the slaves in Africa now to talk about white people back then. I told you all that the anti-whiteism is a way to dehumanize white people. And when I say dehumanize, I mean you make them, so in other words like this, right? If a white person isn't perfect, then they're automatically the polar opposite of what God is. So if they're not perfect like God, then they're the devil. There's no middle ground. And this is a way to dehumanize that way. And again, the whole purpose of anti-whiteism is to justify atrocities against white people, because you can't push a global agenda with white people still around. You can't push a new world order. You can't push a great reset. You can't push a global agenda, sustainable goals. You can't push these things if there are white people around because they're going to fight back. The whole anti-white agenda is literally to get rid of white people so the Antichrist can step in. That's all this is about. This is why I keep telling you all that the anti-white agenda is the anti-God agenda, because the end goal is to usher in the Antichrist. That's the end goal. Let's continue.
So huge and so all-encompassing that it has built a system. It has built a system of capitalism. It has built a system of oppression. It has built parasitic capitalism that gives you these cities and these nations. Where are the cities and these nations for these other slaves, these other slave owners?
Yeah, the Irish slaves. Where's their Mecca?
What about the 1.5 million white people sold into slavery during the Barbary pirates?
Yeah, isn't that why we had to invent the Marines to protect ourselves from all these Muslim pirates stealing our women?
The biggest colonial empire, aside from the British, was the Ottoman Empire, and no one seems to want reparations for them because they're not white.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, I was going to bring up.
You gave reparations for the Japanese, right?
Correct. They were directly affected.
No, we didn't. We were total tyrants.
Well, those who were directly in turn got reparations.
Yeah, but I'm glad you brought up Japan.
Go in on the barbers and all these other kind of things, but you are currently living right now on a system that is built from the slavery and the colonization of other people, of African people. And that you cannot negate from. And no, we just did not.
I disagree.
We did so much more, and it built an entire nation. America today would not be America today if it wasn't for the enslavement of African people. Europe would not be Europe if it wasn't for colonialism and slavery. White nations, white people would not be where white people are right now if it was not for colonialism and not for slavery.
And see, the problem with what he's saying is it's unredeemable. Because essentially what he's saying is because America, so basically what he's saying is if you're white and you have a functioning life, that means you benefited from slavery. The only way to correct that is for you to give up what you have to somebody that's black. Think about it. The solution to all of this is for white people to give what they have to black people. Because the whole purpose of all of this is to keep white people from, listen, and when I say keep white folks from power, I mean just simply living a normal life. So understand, when they see a white person, this white person can live in New York with 5 roommates. The fact that this person has shelter and food and clothing means they got too much. Because they want white people to be totally destitute because they know they're going to fight back. All this is about white people fighting back against this global agenda. That's it. This guy that said all this stuff, and he keeps skipping over that Africa has millions of slaves still today with no white people. I got some more videos to show, but I'll play about a couple more minutes and then I'm gonna go to my other videos.
And right now you are dealing with a crisis of imperialism, of African and colonized people fighting every day. That's why when you go to your airports, you got to go through all these freaking checkouts and take your shoes off and everything. You want to know why?
That's Islam.
Coming back to take back their stuff. You want to know why you have to build a wall? Because people are coming back to take their stuff. You want to know why you have to drop the biggest bomb, the biggest non-nuclear bomb of Afghanistan? Because African and colonized people are fighting for their back consistently everywhere. So as much as you want to negate it, as much as you want to say, well, what about this and this happened and this happened and oh my God, this happened in history, this happened in history, coming for your neck. Do you not see that?
So you notice he is not saying they're lying. I want y'all to pay attention. When I'm talking, people attack me. They don't say I'm lying. Listen, they don't ever tell y'all I'm not telling the truth. They just attack me. They attack my intentions. This guy been ranting for about 10 minutes, and not one time has he said they're lying. You know why? Because he knows they're telling the truth. He knows they're telling the truth. He knows this.
Okay, that's a good argument for a wall.
The reason we bombed ISIS in Afghanistan is to steal money from Africa.
And then the best summation you could do, Matt, is to come up with a book about Islam. That Islam is the crux of this issue. That Islam is the core of this issue. That, you know, these Muslims just hate freedom. No, these colonized people hate that you're bombing them and you're stealing their resources and starving them to death. And
what are these resources you keep talking about?
that they are
We took their diamonds and built an entire country from it.
Yeah, I don't drive a diamond mobile. Do you mean oil?
You drive something that is filled with the oil, right? You use something
Yes.
that's filled with
Saudi
coltan,
Arabia.
right?
Yeah.
Right? All these metals, all this stuff. Where
But you use it too, though. Like, I'm about to go, but listen, how you gonna condemn white people for something that you use too? Like, how you gonna condemn them for driving a car, but you drive a car too? Like everything white folks use, black folks use it too. But it's crazy. It's crazy. It is crazy, man. It is crazy. It is crazy. Oh, that's a woman? Oh, that was a woman presenting as a man? God. She was ugly. She had to be a man because she ugly. Goodness. She had to be a man. That hey man, she like what's his name? Rich Homie Quan. Ain't no way that's a man. Ain't no way. That's a man. That's Rich Homie Quan. Ain't no way, or should I say Rich Homie Twan? That's Rich Homie Twan. Ain't no way that's a woman. That's a woman. That's a man. He look like Rich Homie Twan or old boy off of Snowfall. Rich Homie Twan or old boy off of Snowfall. One of the two. Let's continue. Let's continue.
Explain to me how this is not racist.
Well, first off, I think it's racist just to assume that apparently black people own looking like monkeys. Apparently, we're just supposed to own it. So if someone says we look like a monkey or that they put us on a monkey body or like what they did with the advertisement where the little kid the black kid had a monkey outfit, uniform on, just like the white kids did, it's somehow racist. So blacks should view themselves as monkeys. And anytime someone calls us that or puts us on the head of a figure, that we're supposed to be immediately outraged that this person is doing this. And let me explain to you.
Tommy, I'm sorry, I can't just let that go without asking you something. Have you learned anything or studied history in this country around slavery and the depictions of black people in this country during slavery?
No, I have. Yes, sir.
Okay, and you know that was a common thing to equate black people to apes or monkeys, and usually it was a reference to they came from Africa, so they must be apes and monkeys. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, well, the idea of they came from Africa, there's a lot of animals that came from Africa. As a matter of fact, all of the ones that were depicted in the video, you guys didn't show the whole video.
Come on,
Biden
man.
was also a monkey. Well, Biden was a monkey in the video too, so why aren't we outraged? As black people, we have carte blanche to call anybody anything we want. And I'm from the
That's
South.
not true. That's
Well,
not true.
who can't we call a name? Y'all have had people on your show that call white people aliens, that call white people devils. No one gets in trouble on national television for calling a white man a devil.
I mean, a devil is not
just a bad person.
A devil doesn't equate to race. It equates to character.
No, we actually, if the person beside you would tell you the truth, we actually believe that the white people are devil, and many believe that we're aliens. We believe
I'll give you
Tommy,
an example. No, hold on. I can give him an
this
example.
argument, Tommy. Don't put me in your. I'm not trying to.
Well,
I'm not shoulder to shoulder with you.
Now, you see how he lying? You see how a boy with the dreads was lying? He knows good and well black folks call white people devils, not based on behavior, just based on they devils. Just lie. Black people lie, man. They lie. They lie. He knows good and well that black people think white folks are devils. And devils, subhuman, even saying something like, white people smell like dogs when they get wet. White people don't have any rhythm. They don't have any soul. White folks can't cook. This is a part of dehumanizing white people. Even though they're jokes, they're dehumanizing jokes. Because think about it. If a person doesn't have any soul, they don't have a connection with God. I'm just telling y'all.
You asked me though, but you asked me if I knew a historical context, and so when I give you
Well,
one back,
we're talking. You're trying to talk about calling white people devils. No one's saying that that's okay, but that is a different thing than what we're talking about.
What I'm trying to say is, as a black person, I refuse to believe that every time I see a depiction of a monkey and a white person doing it, I'm supposed to be outraged and automatically just upset. So I'm just agreeing that this is the depiction of me and my people.
And I'm not sure why you can't say this was wrong.
Well, first off, again, I would use the word racist versus wrong. They're two different things. When I hear the word of racist, I'm supposed to just be a afraid Klan member. And you have to understand, I've been black my whole life. And unlike you, I've been
that makes two of us.
That's what I was going to say, but unlike you.
So now we're going to do colorism?
I was going to say, but
now we're going to do colorism?
I've been
Okay.
But unlike you, wait a minute, but unlike you, I've been dark-skinned my whole life.
Okay.
And you know what I've been told? You know what I've been told by black folks? That same monkey, crispy, blackie, midnight, smoke, and all these words are supposedly okay that black people use against their own people. When you're trying to insult someone, you go towards things that they don't like. I don't agree with the fact that we can say, well, we can diss these people and that diss is okay. But that diss is a diss too far. Because when we diss this man, and we call him an orange orangutan, but that's okay for us to call him that because he's supposed to be able to accept it. I think insults either need to stop or be accepted all the way around. There's no way for me to tell you, you should have a governor on what you say to me, but I don't have a governor on what I say to you.
I gotta say that Tommy Sotomayor destroyed it. He destroyed it. He destroyed it. Let's continue.
I share DNA with cows. Do you know that?
Me meaning like a person who has European heritage.
Yes.
So black people, they don't share DNA with cows.
We don't share any animal genetics at all. Because if that was the case, if that really was the case, then why does our hair grow this way it does? Like, why does my hair grow toward the sun, and why does your hair resemble something?
My hair grows like a cow.
That's what I'm saying. It grows like fur.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta understand that. See, that's what makes us different. You gotta look at our nose, our face, our lips, and all that. Like, why y'all lips is thinner than ours?
So you're right. Humans and cows share approximately 80% of their genes. Except this says humans, which would include you, by the way.
No, it doesn't include me.
Name a black scientist.
A black scientist.
Because I can name.
Yo, this white dude said, I'm gonna end all this right now. I got Big Joker. Name a white scientist. I got Deuce of Diamonds. Name a white scientist. I'm sorry. Name a black scientist. Name a black scientist. Now, he thought he was cooking. He said, y'all resemble animals. You have animal DNA because of the way your hair grows. No mention of climate, region, air, like all that reason why their noses are thinner, lips are thinner, hair grows is because of the climate where they are. None of that. Your hair grows like fur. My hair grows towards the sun. So that means I'm human and you're an animal. And again, on at face value, you would think that this is a low IQ, but he doesn't have a low IQ. Well, he actually might have, but it's not low IQ. It's programming. See, we have to factor in how much of this stuff he's heard his whole life. He's heard 20 plus years of this stuff. It's been drilled in his head and ingrained. So he's on autopilot now.
like 50 white ones, and I don't even like science. But that's probably just because we're like oppressive racists. We probably suppressed all the black ones.
Probably so, because I really can't think.
Yes, Diamone, that's what it means to be black. The definition of being black is to know everything and absolutely nothing at the same time. That's what it means to be black. If you ever want to know what black, what does it mean to be black? To know everything and absolutely nothing at the same time. That's what it means to be black. Yes, that's what it is. That is the definition. I'm playing this one more time though.
Do you know that y'all share DNA with cows? Do you know that?
Me meaning like a person who has European heritage.
Yes.
So black people, they don't share DNA with cows.
We don't share any animal genetics at all. Because if that was the case, if that really was the case, then why does our hair grow this way it does? Like, why does my hair grow toward the sun, and why does your hair resemble?
Yeah, my hair grows like a cow.
So I'm trying to understand something. So your hair grows towards the sun. How does that make you not an animal? I mean, I'm serious. Your hair grows towards the sun. How does that make you not an animal? How is that like, okay, anything that has hair that grows to the sun is not an animal? Like, I don't know. Like, what's the correlation? Because the plants grow to the sun? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It grows like fur.
Yeah.
You gotta understand that. See, that's what makes us different. You gotta look at our nose, our face, our lips, and all that. Like, why y'all lips is thinner than ours?
You're right. Humans and cows share approximately 80% of their genes. Except this says humans, which would include you, by the way.
No, it doesn't include me.
Name a black scientist.
A black scientist.
Do you know how insane it is for you to be talking about all this scientific stuff and you can't even reference the scientist you got it from? Imagine black people talking all this scientific stuff, but they can't reference the black scientist they got it from. He was so confident 2 seconds ago. Now we on Jeopardy. What is Yaqub Alex? Or who is Yaqub Alex?
Because I could name like 50 white ones, and I don't even like science.
Look, Brandon said that's not even the brightest of white people stuff. Like, it's just a regular white guy doing this in his spare, like he ain't probably even a researcher or nothing. He just like doing it in his spare time. And he just stunting. You're right, Brandon. You're right, Brandon. It's not even the brightest white person stumping him. It's just like a regular white guy. Not saying he's dumb, but just a regular white guy just going to the internet, typing on Google. That's crazy, man. That is crazy.
But that's probably just because we're like oppressive racists. We probably suppressed all the black ones.
Probably so, because I really can't think.
So then, because he can't think of a black scientist, it's because of racism. Yes, the original AI, arrogantly ignorant. That's black people, arrogantly ignorant. That is the real AI. That is black people, arrogantly ignorant.
These about black unity. Word unity means something must be in the center to bring you together. So let me ask you a simple question. What are you uniting around? What? The entire countries of black, Africa alone has 54, and the Caribbean. We don't export anything. So if you say Pan-Africanism is that blacks should only buy from blacks, blacks should only trade with blacks, what is it? Then you must stop buying every car. You must stop buying the Louis Vuitton. If I stop buying those tuxedos you wear for your wedding. And let me see how that will work out for you.
I love Frank, man. Frank said Louis Vuitton. You know what, Frank? Most of what they buying is Louis. It ain't Louis. You're right, Frank. It is Louis. From the swap meet. It is Louis. You're right, Frank.
You don't produce and send anything abroad to anybody. Yet you are saying that Pan-Africanism, black only. Some idiots are saying you should not marry a white woman. Should we? Who is judging who now on skin color? Come to find out, Martin Luther King, some 40 years ago, when he said, don't judge a man by the color of his skin, but the content of his character, he was actually talking to black people. We were fooled. We thought he was talking to white people. He wasn't. Well, ask Umar Johnson, and many of them. He knew his people. He knew what they were saying. That's why he made that statement. We turned it around and thought he was talking to white people.
I love Frank. Frank said, unify over what? Now imagine people telling you to buy only black. Just think for a second. Imagine if black people were forced to only deal with black people. What kind of world would that be? Where you could only deal with what black people created. What kind of world, what kind of life would that be? You can only buy from a black person, and that black person had to have created what they're selling you. So if you purchase a car, it has to be from a black car manufacturer. Milk, black dairy farm. Like, could you imagine? Black folks would starve to death and they'd be naked. Black folks would starve to death and they'd be naked. And forget school, and they'd be uneducated. So no schools, no clothes, and no food. You had to just deal with black and just buy black. Tierra said, I'm walking and starving. Let's continue. Speaking of anti-whiteism.
Was actually saying, you shouldn't use anti-white. Grok 4 told me, you shouldn't use anti-white. And I said, oh, really? Why shouldn't I use anti-white? And Grok said, because, now get ready for this. If only people had listened to me 3 decades ago. Grok says, because everyone has been taught that it is immoral to focus on white people and their victimization.
Remember I told you all, that's Jason from nowhiteguilt.org, but remember I told you all that AI wasn't this neutral thing. AI is woke. AI is liberal. I can't even make certain thumbnails because of AI. I pay for a service to make thumbnails, and I'm limited on what I can make based on what I type in there. Grok 4 told Jason it is immoral to focus on white victimization. It is immoral. Not that it's not happening, not that it's not true, it's just immoral to do so. I told you all they want to dehumanize white people to justify atrocities against them. Everybody in the world has a grievance against white people. That's all Black history is. It's just a reminder of how bad white folks have been. That's all. Everybody, if a person says the word racism, they're talking about white people. If they say anti-Semitism, they're talking about white people. If they say transphobia, talking about white people. Anti-LGBTQ, talking about white people. Anything that's negative about a group of people that's not white is talking about white people. So imagine the whole world pointing their finger at one group of people. Let's continue. Let's continue.
See how easy that was, black people? You put the battery in the smoke detector. We look like fucking fools and clowns when we have this shit beeping in every video or everything that we do. It looks terrible. Just like these houses in Detroit look terrible. It's like the majority of our black cities look fucking terrible. And our image and representation is terrible. Do better, black people. If you want to support me, go to my Patreon. That's in my description, in my bio. Don't worry about that. It's just the thing. Go ahead and give me support. I appreciate all the love and everything you give me. Happy Thanksgiving. I can't wait to make more content in the new year.
That's Andre with the truth. That's his TikTok page, andre.w.truth. I mean, I like his content, man. I like his content. But he's gonna realize one day that you can't be black no more. Because black folks ain't gonna like what being black was never meant to be better than what you see today. It just wasn't. It just wasn't. As soon as black folks started progressing and they cut that poverty rate by 50% in 20 years, as soon as that happened, civil rights came, stopped all that, shut it down, and now, you know, the rest is history. Gangsta white walls, TV antenna in the back.
You hate black men, but you worship the systems that damage them. If you understood the setup, you'd stop blaming the ones who got played. You say black men don't build, but you praise every structure designed to block their hands. If you knew the architect, you'd stop blaming the workers. You call black men angry, but ignore the centuries of pressure behind the tone. Diamonds and warnings come from the same force. You blame black men for the storm, but never question who engineered the climate. If you understood the weather, you'd stop attacking the rain. You say black men don't stay, but forget the policies built to remove them. Don't confuse a forced exit with a lack of love. They taught you to fear black men, then sold you the fear as intuition. You're not intuitive, you're indoctrinated. You blame black men for the wound, but never the blade that cut them. If you trace the injury, you'd stop attacking the scar. Stop scrolling right now, click the link in the bio and download 20 chapters of knowledge and awaken your DNA.
So now it's even worse with AI because now they can just make it up as they go. Now black folks can just make stuff up as they go. It's bad enough that black history is propaganda and programming, but now they can literally just make up stuff as they go and use AI to do it. This was horrible. Dear black men, let me tell you something. Do you see how black women are thinking about you? Is y'all are weak, you need help, and the white man's oppressing you? Dear black man, the black woman doesn't think you're strong. She thinks you're weak. She thinks you're a victim. Dear black man, the black woman is not attracted to you. She's not. It's sympathy. You're charity for the black woman. She feels sorry for you. There's no way a woman can be pleading to the world to save her man. So what I'm telling you, black man, is that when black women are defending you, you're being emasculated. It's emasculation. If I'm married and my wife says my husband's oppressed, I'm getting a divorce. If I get married and my wife says my husband is oppressed by white people, I'm getting a divorce. I'm just saying. But dear black man, the black woman doesn't respect you. She doesn't. If you don't believe me, just ask the average black woman how she feels about black men in America. And she's going to give you a story of you being a victim. She's not going to give you a story that you powerful and you strong. And she's going to say you a king and all this stuff, but you oppressed by the white man. She make it easy. You so strong and you so graceful. You just got God in you, but you oppressed by the white man. So again, fellas, there's no way a woman can respect you if there's another man that is superior to you. Because if she has to pick between you and the white man, she's going to pick the white man naturally. Why? Because he's the one that's able to oppress you and you're supposed to be the strong one. Why would she go to the one oppressed when she can go to the one that's doing the oppressing? So dear black men, anytime a black woman wants to come to your rescue and wants to talk about how you oppressing the victim, you need to check it. But you can't check it because you're so weak. Hence why I'm not black, because I'm not oppressed. I've never been a slave, not oppressed, so I don't relate to y'all. I don't. Let's continue. Let's continue. I got another one I wanted to show real quick. I may not have one short enough.
To be on TV. Well, now's your shot, kid.
No, I'm gonna save that one. Let me see. Here we go.
What you got there, gal? Oh, I uses them to clean the windows, sir. You thought I was reading these fancy papers? Oh, no, sir. I know you's got to tell me how to think, sir. I knows better not to read this. And I remember you told me if I don't do what you told me to do, that means I ain't black. And I was just as black as the day is long, sir. Yes, indeed. You been using them words we taught you. Oh, yes, sir. I uses them words loud, proud, and strong. Anytime one of them highfalutin Negroes come around here telling me to read some kind of fancy paper for myself, I calls them coon and bootlickers. I sure do, sir. And the rest of them around this plantation, they've been saying another word. They said sellout. I know you ain't teach it to me, sir, but it sounded awful fancy, so I decided to use it for myself. I got some new words. Oh, yes, sir. I was learning real good. What is this, sir? It's dictator, fascist, and Nazi. Oh, okay. Dictator. Fascist. Nazi. Okay, sir. Right. Those sound awful fancy, sir. What they mean? Don't matter what they mean. You right, sir. Pardon. I gets ahead of myself. I know that I shouldn't have asked you nothing. I know that you tell me what's best, sir. Don't matter what they mean. Just matters that you told me to say them, and I got to learn them real good. Yes, sir. You got them leftovers? Oh, yes, sir. We got them leftovers. We sure mighty obliged for them, sir. Yeah, Overseer Crockett, Overseer Obama, and Overseer Waters told us you sent them, sir. Because we wouldn't be able to get by without your handouts and your programs, so we can't do it on our own. And they make sure they remind us of that, sir. Yes, indeed, they do. We got some more leftovers coming, on the first? Oh, thank you, sir. Oh, thank you, sir. Because they even told us, you know, they talking about we got to get some identification. And we knows we can't do that on our own. We's not smart enough. We need you,
That's
sir.
right.
That's right, sir. I appreciate you for dropping by here, letting us know that you're still thinking about us, sir.
All
Feels
right.
awful good. All right, sir. Thank you for dropping by. Okay. Look away, look away, look away, Dixie Lane.
Yo, this was brilliant. I mean, this was, oh my goodness, this is so good. Her name is
Fashion.
I forgot her name. Y'all know her on social media, but it just was so brilliant. I mean, when she was like, I got ahead of myself when she asked what the words meant. Oh my goodness, this is brilliant. Now listen. This is how conservatives have to be. This is how conservatives have to be. This is what's entertaining. Like, this is what is entertaining. This is what people want to see. This is good. This was excellent. Conservatives can be, you can be a conservative and be funny. You can be funny. She nailed this thing, man. Thank you, Anthony Lebrakiak, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Thank you again, sir. I was mighty obliged. Thank you, Cruise Missile, for the super sticker. Thank you again, sir. I was mighty obliged. Well, listen, y'all. Listen, I love y'all. And I will be back on Saturday. I want y'all to have a blessed day. And hope y'all enjoyed the show. And, you know, I want y'all to have a blessed rest of your week. If you don't come back on Saturday, even if you do, like I said, 2026 is going to be a great year for us. And I'm going to still stick with what I said about 2026. So whatever you all are trying to achieve in life, you need to start today. Don't hold back. Don't let people around you stifle what you're doing. Don't let the doubt creep in. God created you to be great. We are wonderfully and fearfully made. We are more than conquerors. God made us to be kings and priests. So at the end of the day, we are created to be great. And so with that being said, you all don't hold back. Let it all hang out 2026. Listen, I love y'all, and I will see y'all soon. Thank you.